The themes and styles functionality in Microsoft Word is arguably the most important piece of functionality in the program. You can throw about 90% of the other functionality and leave themes and styles and you will still have a great product. If you are using Word and you do not know about themes and styles, then you're doing it wrong. You must understand styles. They will make your life so much easier. They will make you more efficient, they will make your documents much more professional looking, and they will make all your dreams come true. Well, maybe not all your dreams, but at least your document editing dreams. Styles have been around in Word for many years. Themes came out in Office 2007. We're going to be looking at this functionality in Microsoft Office 2010 on Windows, but do not let that put you off. The functionality is basically the same since Office 2007 and also exists on the Mac version. The Mac menu options are slightly different, but the concepts discussed here are exactly the same. Additionally, if you've not upgraded to Office 2010 and you're still on Office 2007, you will still be able to gain just as much knowledge because the functionality has not really changed that much. First, let me introduce myself. My name is Chris Malik. I'm a software consultant and founder of Cedar Hills Group Incorporated. I primarily work with large institutions on their back-end accounting and payroll systems using a technology called PeopleSoft. In my consulting work, I write a lot of technical documents and deliverables for my clients. Oftentimes, these Word documents are in the range of 40 to 100 pages of technical documentation with project requirements, project history, code examples, screenshots, and training materials. Using Word styles in these project deliverables has saved me hundreds of hours of fiddling around in Word getting the document to look professional. My real-world experience working with long-form Word documents will allow us to focus in on the important parts of themes and styles to make you more efficient. First, let's talk about what we want to accomplish in this video. Our goals are the following. We want to drill into your head the insanity of using the individual formatting in Microsoft Word. If you are using the bold, italic, and font formatting in the top of the program menu, you will realize that you've been wasting hours of your time on formatting. Then we want to give you a 10,000-foot introduction to themes and styles. We will cover what themes are, what styles are, why they are important, how to effectively work with styles, and show you the time savings that can be gained from using them. We will not be covering everything there is to know about styles. We are instead going to focus in on just the key important parts. Themes and styles has a lot of different nuances and functionality. We will be focusing in on just the key important parts that are going to make you much more efficient in Word. All the other nuances will be skipped. Who is this video for? If you're currently using Microsoft Word to create large documents greater than a few pages, then this video is for you. If you occasionally create small documents under a page in length, then you're not really going to gain much from this presentation because the benefits of themes and styles becomes greater and greater as the document length increases. The people that will gain the most from this training will be people who write long research-oriented papers, people who write long technical documents and specifications, people who write large sales proposals, and people who write anything in Word longer than a few pages. Let's first cover what we'll be discussing in this presentation. We'll start with an introduction to themes and styles. We'll have an introduction to themes. Then we'll have an introduction to styles. And then we'll show you the power of themes and styles used together. Then we'll skip to the next section on how to access styles. And then the following section will show you how to work with styles. And the final section is going deeper into styles. Let's say you're writing a long report for your class or your company, and as you type, you need to do some formatting like adding bold text, document sections, some data tables, and images. Many people would direct their mouse to the menu options at the top. While this works and creates the desired effect, this is not what you want to do. Those options should be banished from the menu by Microsoft. You should forget they are there. We are going to go into detail why you don't want to use those options in a bit. Just start to get into your head that these are evil and they should not be used. Instead, you want to use themes and styles. When you do your formatting with styles, you gain a bunch of valuable tools to allow you to easily create document sections and update the formatting in very large documents with ease. Before we get into styles, let's introduce themes. Themes were introduced in Office 2007, and they were a major advancement in document formatting. They work across Excel, Word, and PowerPoint. Even though we are limiting our discussion here to Word, you can extrapolate the knowledge you're going to learn here and apply it to PowerPoint and Excel to make documents in those programs look just as good. You can think of themes as basically like a formatting template. There are many themes that look fantastic that are delivered with Office. You can even download more themes from their website. Google is your friend here, or Bing. You can browse them from a page layout tab in the ribbon. Each document has one theme applied to it. The theme will affect the colors of the document, the fonts, and how things like smart art and drawings and tables will look. When you choose a theme for a document, it can be just a starting point for which you can quickly change the colors and the fonts globally in the document. Or you may choose to leave it alone because many of the delivered themes look great. For example, let's open the script of this training video, which was written in Word, and change the theme. As we hover over each of the delivered themes, it gives us a preview in our underlying document. You will see that it impacts the colors and fonts, and this rolls through the whole document in one click. I can easily switch between themes with no effort to completely transform the look of the document. Once I choose the theme, I might like the look of the fonts, but maybe the colors are slightly not to my liking. You can easily choose from a list of theme colors that will again roll through the whole document with one click. So let's choose a new color scheme with one click, and you will see that the entire document was updated. Additionally, maybe I like the theme, but I want to change my font slightly. Again, there's a predefined list of fonts that will impact the whole document with one click. Let's choose a different font from the theme menu to demonstrate. You will notice that it flowed through the whole document with just one click. Are you starting to see how powerful this is? It gets even better in the next section when we start looking at styles, which are even more important. First, let's talk about what styles are and how they differ from individual formatting. Styles are predefined formatting that may have an end result of bolded font, larger font, or underlining. However, the formatting is tied to a style name, not the actual formatting instructions like Times New Roman bold. You can think of this like a shortcut. The power of this is that you can easily mark up the document text with styles on different pieces of text. And if you decide you want to change the text of the font, you can just modify the style in one place and every piece of text that is marked with that style would be updated. Think about this for a second. Let's say you have a large 200-page proposal and you decide that all the text that you have marked as bold needs to be italicized and have it in a shade of blue instead. Additionally, let's say you have 500 occurrences of bold text in the document. If you're using styles, you can just make one change in the style definition and the whole document will be reflected. This would take about 10 seconds. If you were to have used individual formatting or direct formatting, then you would have to read through the entire document and touch each of those 500 bolded pieces of text, which could take about 10 seconds apiece, which could easily consume an hour of your day. So would you rather spend 10 seconds or an hour making a formatting change? Using styles is a great example of working smarter, not harder. Another important aspect of styles is creating a hierarchy of headings. Most business and research-oriented documents have a document hierarchy with major sections and subsections that are nested. Writers working on something like a novel or long essay may have chapters in the document. Headings are a special type of style that you use to tell the document the section names. When you use style headings, it will organize your document into sections. It also makes automatically generating and updating a table of contents trivial. So let's take a quick peek at the script of this video and focus in on the navigation pane, which we will discuss in depth a little later. In this script, I have used heading styles extensively to organize the document. This gives me a document hierarchy of the script, as you can see here. You can see a nesting of sections with major sections at the far left and subsections further nested underneath. If your document is only a few pages, you don't gain anything from this. However, if the document is 50 or 100 pages, you gain a lot because you can quickly open a document, view its structure, and jump right to the section you need in seconds. How many times have you been on a sales call or in a meeting and need to find a section in a long document? If you're using headings, then you can quickly drill into the section you need to get the information using the document hierarchy. Again, if your document is only a few pages long, this is not that big of a deal. However, if you have a 200-page document, this is huge with a capital H. Styles and themes work together to make the look and feel of a document consistent and professional looking. But they also make changing that look and feel later trivial. Styles are probably the most important feature that you need to understand, and we will spend most of our time on it. So let's quickly touch on some of the reasons to use style instead of formatting. Then we'll show you how to work with them and go into more detail on the important aspects. Using themes and styles easily allows you to switch between color schemes and font schemes globally in the document with the touch of a button. When you use heading styles, it will create a document hierarchy of sections which are as easy to navigate and visualize. Heading styles will allow you to automatically create a table of contents off the document hierarchy. Themes and styles allow you to have a very uniform and professional looking document with minimal effort. Using styles is about 100 times more efficient for long documents than using direct formatting. In this section, we're going to look at how to use styles when you're writing or trying to format a document. The user interface is very simple once you understand a few secrets that I will let you in on. Let's create a new document which we will use as an example on how to work with styles and themes. When you create a new document, it will automatically come with a theme applied to it from the default theme settings. You do not need to take any special action to use themes. Styles are another story though. You have to consciously apply styles to a document. So for the sake of speed, we will be pasting in some unformatted text into this empty document and show you how to apply styles to it. I will be using the script of this training video as example text. Let's paste in the unformatted text of the script so that we have something to work with. First, let's quickly show you how to get access to the styles. The Home tab of the ribbon contains a Styles section that you can use. I actually never use this because it's too crowded for me. The way I prefer to look at styles is to expand the Style menu into a task pane. You can see a downward-facing arrow at the far right-hand side of the Styles menu, which will open the Styles pane on the right-hand side of the document. You will see that this gives you a much easier and cleaner access to the styles. We can also customize what shows up in this pane, as we will see shortly. Another thing that is useful is to have the navigation pane open, which will show you the hierarchy of the document. In the View tab of the ribbon, click on the navigation pane option, and the pane will show up in the left-hand side of the document. Right now, it's not showing anything, but you will start to see its benefits as we start applying styles and headings to this document. There are two things I always do when I open a Word document for editing. First, I open the navigation page to view the document structure. Secondly, I expand the Styles pane. What shows up in the Styles pane can be unpredictable. There are some options that you should become familiar with that will allow you to change what styles show up here, which will make you more efficient. Microsoft Word has many predefined styles already built in. They have something for about everything you would need. However, oftentimes the full list is overkill and can be confusing and burdensome to scroll through. When I am editing a document, there are several options in the Styles pane that I will toggle between depending on what I am doing. If I am working on a brand new document, then I will often tell Word to show all the styles that are available. Then, as I get more content and some styles marked in the document, I will tell Word to only show styles in the current document. Only showing styles in the current document narrows a list to the Styles pane so there's not so much noise and you do not have to scroll through the full list. So right now, in the Styles menu, I have it set to only show what styles are in the current document. Because I pasted in a bunch of unformatted text, you can see that only Normal is showing there. Normal is the base paragraph font that most of your text will be styled with. Most other styles build up their formatting from the Normal style. You can think of styles like building blocks. Since this is a new document that needs a bunch of styles applied to it, let's tell the Styles pane to show all styles. At the very bottom of the Styles pane, there is an Options link. This brings up the Styles pane option dialog. The very top option is the Select Styles to Show option. This will become your best friend. There are several options: Recommended, In Use, In Current Document, and All Styles. I tend to toggle between All Styles and In Use. I seldom use Recommended or In Current Document. Recommended is kind of a magic option that Word will try to guess the list that should show up in the Styles pane. I really don't like this option because I tend to know what styles I want. You may want to try it out, but I find it often hides stuff I want to access. There are some other options there that I encourage you to play around with and look at. The only other one that I really want to highlight is this Select How List is Sorted option. I tend to go with alphabetical, but that's just my personal preference. This will sort the styles pane alphabetically by name. Again, since I've been working with styles so long, I know the names that I'm looking for, so this works best for me. You may decide that you like something different. My goal with tweaking these options is so that I can quickly edit a document and keep the styles that I need at my fingertips without having to fumble through the menu. If I get into a writing zone and I have words pouring out of me through the keyboard, I want to quickly access to the styles that I need so I don't get distracted and I can stay in my zone. Keeping the list short helps me out here. So let's tell the Styles pane to show all styles and sort them alphabetically. When we click OK, you will see the list is long and we have a scroll bar. This will show you all the styles that come built in, and there's a preview of each of the styles formatting. There's a lot of stuff listed here. Let's quickly scan through it to get an overview of the styles that are offered. First, you will see some variations of body text. They all have slightly different variations in sizing and indent level. To create a uniform looking document, I would recommend maybe one or two of these. I often don't even use these body styles at all. The next major one is the caption style, which will be the formatting for image captions. We will skip down to see the footer and header styles, which can be important if your document contains a footer or header. Next are the heading styles from 1 through 9. These are the styles that are used to create the document hierarchy, and they are very important. They can also be a visual indicator in a printed document for different sections and subsections. I generally only use headings 1 through 5, but there are times where my section nesting can go deeper than that. We will talk about these again. Next, there are a bunch of styles that begin with HTML. I never use any of these. You can skip past them. Then we can go to the next major important one that I tend to use a lot is intense emphasis. I also use list bullet and list bullet 2. Additionally, list number and list number 2 can be useful. There are a few more that I skipped over. The other important style is normal. This is the base style that most text will start from and build upon. This normal style is often the style of your paragraph and body text. Other styles will add to and augment from the normal style, which we will see a little later. The takeaway is that there are a lot of predefined styles that come with Word. I encourage you to look over the list in detail. I generally find that these suit most of my needs. Every once in a while, I tend to create my own style, which we will see how to do later. I've been working with styles for so long, I memorized the ones that I typically use for my type of documents. If you write a lot of academic documents, you may have to look at some of the reference and citation styles that exist. Here are a list of styles that I generally use in my documents about 95% of the time. I've sorted this list in order that I use most. Normal, which is an important base style. Headings 1 through 5 that create the section headings of the document. List bullet and list bullet 2 used for bulleted list and sub-bullets. List number and list number 2, which I use for numbered list and sublist. Caption, which is used for image caption. Emphasis, to show some emphasis on some piece of text. Intense emphasis. This builds upon the emphasis style. I generally use this when I introduce a new word or definition. Strong. This can be used for bolding of text. Footer, which is the styling of the footer. Header, which is the style of the header. And then title, which is obviously the document title, and subtitle if you have one. Okay, enough background information. Let's get to working with using styles in our documents. We will be looking at our script for this training that has 0 styles applied and is several pages long. Let's start at the top of the document and start applying the styles to see how to use them. Let's go through and mark up the title and some headings with styles. We will first select the title text and then scroll down the style pane and click on the title style, which applies it to the text. See how it applies the look and feel of that text? Next, let's go down and format some of the section headings with heading styles. Let's style the part 1 of the script to the heading of 1 and some of the subsections with headings of 2 and 3. The numbers are important because they represent the level of nesting of the sections, where heading 2 is nested underneath heading 1 and heading 3 is nested underneath heading 2, and so on. I'm going to quickly skim through the document and mark up all the headings in the document through the magic of editing. Now that we have all our heading marked up, let's go ahead and take a look at the navigation pane. You can start to see that the document has a hierarchy of those headings. By clicking on any of the headings, you can jump to that part of the document. This can be invaluable for large documents when you need to access information quickly. Let's say you're on a phone call and need to reference something in a document. If you've used headings effectively, you can just open up the document and quickly jump to the section you need using the hierarchy. Just remember that headings are your friends and you should use them to section your document. Now let's go through the document and update some of the inline styles where you maybe want to use bolding or italics from the formatting menu. I'm going to mark up some definitions or keywords with intense emphasis and some other text with just emphasis. You will see that I just selected the text and then clicked on the style name to apply it, just like we did with the headings. Now I have a few items that I want to have a bulleted list. I write a lot of technical documents and I find that bulleted lists are a little easier to consume. So let's go find the text that I want to make a list, and I will select the text and then select the bullet style. This list has some nesting of bullets, so I will select the items that should be nested and select list bullet 2. You will see that this marked the text as a nested bullet. Do not worry if you don't like that little black circle, as you'll see in a later section that we can easily change the black circle to something else and the whole document will be updated wherever that list bullet style is used. So now that I have some of my document marked up with styles, I generally like to change what shows up in the styles pane. At this point, I will generally switch it to only show what is currently in use in the document. So let's quickly do that by clicking on the options link and choosing the in use option at the top and click OK. You will see that the list in the styles pane is much more focused now. I just see the styles that I care about and I am using in the current document. This will help me quickly style the rest of the document because I no longer have to scroll through the styles pane. For existing documents, this is my preferred view. You may also try the recommended view, which is similar but often shows some unneeded stuff in my opinion. So now we should see how easy it is to use styles. Remember, if you want to format some text, you should never reach for those direct formatting options in the menu bar, which does not apply styles. You should instead apply some styles to the text or paragraph. If you can't find a defined style that has the look you need, you can create new styles, which we'll see in a later section in this video. My general rule is to try to use an existing style first. If you can't use an existing one, then you can create a new style, which is really easy. Let's dig a little deeper into styles. In this section, we are going to look at different types of styles that exist in Word and the difference between them. There are different types of styles. We have character styles, paragraph styles, link styles, heading styles, table styles, and list styles. Let's talk about each one. Character styles are used to style words or groups of words. A great example of this that we've seen already is the emphasis and intense emphasis styles. We selected a word and applied the style to it. Character styles control the font formatting like bold, underlining, font size, and font type. Character styles do not control tabs, line spacing, or margins. In the styles pane, character styles have a lowercase a to the right of it to give you an indication that it's a character style. Paragraph styles are styles that apply to a paragraph of text and build on the character styles, meaning that a paragraph style can control font size, font color, and font formatting like bolding, and character styles do. In addition, paragraph styles control margins, indents, line spacing, and tabs. A great example of this is the normal style that we've seen already. Paragraph styles have a lowercase paragraph symbol which resembles a backwards letter P to the right of them in the styles pane. Link styles are a hybrid between character and paragraph styles. If you select a few characters or a word in a paragraph, they act as a character style. If you select a paragraph, they function as a paragraph style. Link styles have a lowercase paragraph symbol and a lowercase letter A to the right of them in the styles pane. Heading styles are built-in styles that we've already seen. They are actually linked styles, but they cannot be deleted from the system. They are very important types of styles. Table styles are not accessed from the styles pane, but they are a similar concept. When you create a table in Word, there is a contextual menu under the Design tab in the ribbon. You can choose from several default formats depending on your data. These are predefined styles. If you choose one of these, the table look and feel will be automatically formatted when you choose the different color schemes in the theme. We will look at table styles a little later. List styles are used to style and format lists like bulleted list or numbered list. There are actually no list styles that come with Word by default. The list bullet and list number styles that we saw earlier are actually paragraph styles that resemble a list style because they have bullets and numbers. I actually never use list styles. Now that we've introduced styles, let's show you how to customize the look of a style. As we've talked about before, Word comes with many predefined styles to get you started. Most of them look fantastic, but you often need to change some aspect of them slightly. Maybe you like the heading style, but you want to change the font slightly, or the paragraph spacing for some text. Modifying a style is really easy, and these modifications can be made in one place and they will ripple through the whole document. So let's look how easy it is to do this. Let's say we want to add some underlining to the heading 1 style and make the font slightly larger. In the Styles pane, hover your mouse over the heading 1 style. A down arrow will appear with some options. Choose the Modify option. The Modify Style dialog box will be displayed. This page gives you access to modify the look of the style. You can see several things in the top portion. You can see the style name, what style type it is, link style in this example, what style this is based on. You will see heading 1 is based on normal. Then you will see that the styling for the following paragraph is normal as well. This is useful, for example, if you are deeply nested in a heading and you want the paragraph text after heading 5 to be nested or have some different look. This is where you can tell Word to format it differently. Let's continue on with this dialog. There is a formatting section that has some font choices and some alignment choices. There is also a preview of what it will look like. So let's say we just want to change the font size to 16 instead. You can choose a new value. Then let's say we want the heading color to be slightly different. We will select the color drop down and choose a different theme color. We then click OK and to view the whole document. You will notice that the Styles pane shows the new formatting and the entire document was impacted with one simple change. If you had 50 occurrences of heading 1 styling, they would all be updated. Isn't that fantastic? Let's try changing the line spacing on the paragraph text. In this script that I am looking at, all the paragraph text is marked up with the style of normal. Let's modify the normal style. Then click the Format option at the bottom of the screen, which gives us access to every category of styling. I'm going to choose the paragraph option and then change the line spacing to 1.5, then click OK. Now it's reflected in the entire document where normal is used. It should be sinking into your brain now why you should be using styles and not direct formatting. You can change the look and feel in one place and have it reflected everywhere. This is the real time savings that can be gained from styles. There are many options that can be customized on a style. If we go back into the Modify Styles menu and quickly go through all the options, we can get an overview. There are several options. We are going to focus on the ones you're going to use 95% of the time and skip the rest. Font, which allows you to do fine-tuning on the font of a style. Paragraph, which allows you to do fine-tunings on margins and spacings. Borders, which allow you to draw a border around a style. And numbering, which allows you to use formatted bullets, and numbered lists. There are some other options there, but I never go into them. We're going to explore some of these options in the next section when we show you how to create a new style. I encourage you to go into each of the settings and just have a look around. It will help you become familiar with the options that are available. I have found that many of the different styles get you pretty close to what you need. You then just have to go into each of them and tweak them slightly. In this section, we're going to show you how to create a new style. When I am working on a document, there are a few styles that I often need that are not built into Word. These are more an example of my writing habits and styles. You may need some slightly different styles based on what you do. One style that I often need is what I call a to-do style. I use this as a visual placeholder for a section that needs more work. I generally use this so when I am scanning through a document, I can quickly get a visual of the sections that still need more work. Let's go through creating the new style. There are actually a couple of ways to create a new style, but I'm going to show you the easiest way. In the Styles pane, there is a double A icon at the bottom left. When you hover over this icon, some pop-up text will display New Style. If you choose that New Style button, we are back at our familiar Modify Style dialog box. In this case, I'm going to style this new to-do style after the normal style. You will see that this is a paragraph style. We're going to go into the border formatting options and choose some shading. Generally, you will pick a color from the theme color palette, which is located at the top of the color choices. If you choose a theme color, it will be updated if we switch our theme colors later. We will touch on colors more in a second. However, in the case of the to-do style, we should never have any text appear in the final document with this style. I really want to have any text style with this to-do style pop out to the eye, so I'm going to choose a yellow color from the standard colors. Since I'm not choosing from the theme colors, this style will always stay yellow no matter my theme choice. I'm going to choose a border for it to make it stick out a little more on the page. You can do this in the Borders tab. Now we can just click OK and the new style is created. It may not show in the Styles pane depending on how you have that configured. If your new styles does not show up, you can just go into the options of the Style pane and tell it to show all styles. It should then appear in the list and you can start formatting text with it. Let's take a quick look at the final output. So let's make a quick note in the script and mark it with the to-do style. Another style that I often need when I'm writing a draft is some text that has some strike through to designate text that should be deleted or is redundant or out of date, but I don't really want to actually delete it yet. Let's go through and create a new style for this. If we click in the New Style section in the bottom left-hand corner of the Style pane, we get a New Style dialog box. We'll call this new style Normal-Delete. It will be a link style because we may want to apply it to a few words or maybe several paragraphs, and link styles are smart enough to figure out what you mean. We are going to base it on the normal style and just change one font property. If we go into the font dialog from the Format button and we click on the strike through option, and now we can start using it after we click OK a few times. So you should see creating new styles is really easy. If you need some specific formatting that is not supplied by Word, you should just create a new style and then format your text with that style. When you're using themes and you're working with modifying a style, you need to be careful about the colors you choose. There are times where you maybe always want a style to be colored yellow, like our to-do example. However, there are often times where you want the style color to change in relation to our theme choices. Word defines several color palettes that look nice together from a contrast and color complementary perspective. So anytime you are setting a color for a font, border, or shading, you need to be aware that the dialog box is organized in a special way. The top section of the color chooser will have the theme colors, and then there are more options like standard colors and more colors, where you can pick any color the computer can produce. If you choose one of the theme colors, it will change when you choose a new theme color scheme or change the underlying theme. I generally recommend that you choose a theme color, but there are always exceptions to this. You may have a boss or professor that needs a certain sections colored in a certain way, but they could care less about section header colors, and they can be one of the theme colors. To gain all the benefits of the theme functionality, I would suggest choosing a theme color as often as possible. When you are working with themes and you're working with changing fonts, there's a special thing that I want to mention that may not be obvious. If we visit the Page Layout tab of the ribbon and look at the Theme section, you will see that there is a Fonts drop-down where you can choose from a list of fonts that apply to the body and headings. These will generally ripple through your entire document if you're using 100% delivered styles. However, if you've created your own styles or modified the delivered ones, when you change the theme fonts, the entire document may not be impacted depending on the font choices you configured. This will make sense shortly. If we go look at the font choices, they come in pairs. The first label is just the theme label. Then there are two fonts listed, one that applies to the heading and one that applies to the body respectively. Let's go in and look at the normal style to see what you have to look out for. If we expand the font box, you will see that the very top two choices show a font name, then in parentheses to the right, you will see heading and body. These reflect the current theme font choices. If you choose either of these for your style, then when you change the theme, the whole document will be updated. However, if we choose some other value that does not have the heading or body in parentheses to the right, when you switch themes or just the font themes, the stylings will not be changed. This is really specific to your needs. Let's say you have a style that you do not ever want to change no matter the theme chosen for the document. Then you would want to actually choose a font name from the options and make sure it does not have any of those parentheses to the right. However, if you want to have the fonts updated with the theme, then you need to choose one of those with the parentheses. If you do not like the font, then you should choose a new theme font as opposed to actually adjusting the style. Hopefully this makes sense. It really depends on if you want the font to change when you change the theme or not. Again, this is case by case. If you have a professor that must have Times New Roman as all the fonts, then you may want to force the font in your document styles and ignore the theme defaults. Oftentimes, you're working with someone on a document and they are not up to speed on styles like you are. They may have gone through the document and added direct formatting instead of using styles. This happens to me all the time when someone sends me a Word document. Word provides an easy method via the Styles pane to find all direct formatting and switch those to an existing style. Let's tell the Styles pane to show all the styles in use. We do this by going to the Options pane and then choosing to show the styles in use. We also want to make sure that the three checkboxes under the section titled Select Formatting to Show as Styles are all checked. These are important and tell Word that direct formatting applied by non-savvy Word users should be shown in the Styles pane. Once we click OK, it will show the direct formatting that is applied in the document alongside our normal styles. So in this example, we will see that there is some direct formatting applied which will show up as a different font name. If we hover over one of the new direct formatting styles that will show up and click the drop-down arrow, we'll see that there are a few options. We can modify the style, we can select all instances of that style, or we can delete the style. You can choose the Modify option to turn that set of direct formatting into a new style, and you can give it a better name that may be showing up currently. Word guesses the name for the style when you tell it to show all formatting. Oftentimes, it will be a difference from the base style of the surrounding text, but it really depends on exactly what the direct formatting is. If we choose the Select All Instances option, it will select all the text throughout the document that has that direct formatting, and you can click on another style to switch all instances to that desired style. For example, if we did this with the one we are looking at, we can change all the text that is styled with this direct formatting and then click on the normal style, and that direct formatting style should disappear from the Styles pane list as all instances are now gone. Alternatively, you can choose the delete option. This will not actually delete the text, it will just delete all the formatting in the document and generally apply the normal style to it or revert it to the surrounding paragraph style. There are times where I will choose the delete option and other times where I will choose the select all and then switch all that direct formatting to an existing style. When I receive a document from someone that I am collaborating with, I often spend the time to clean up their direct formatting and get the document clean. If the document is just something for limited distribution, I may not spend the time. However, if it's a document that's going to go to upper level management, I want it to look professional, so I make sure that the styles are all cleaned up. I have seen many documents that are in such disarray with regard to styles that I will often copy all the text, then paste it into a text editor like Notepad, which will strip off all the Word formatting. I then paste that non-formatted text back into a brand new Word document. Then I will start applying styles to the non-formatted text. This may sound rather excessive, but when you go back and need to modify the document months later, it will pay dividends as you can quickly look at the style document structure and also quickly make formatting changes. When you open a document from someone, you will often see a styles pane that resembles this, which will reveal a plethora of direct formatting that can be cleaned up, or in some cases, new styles created. There are several variations of Courier New that may have very subtle differences. In this case, I will probably go through each occurrence and switch those to a normal style. You will also see that there is a heading 2 occurrence that has some variation from the normal heading text. This probably needs to be switched to the base heading 2 style. Oftentimes when you find these occurrences, they are applied to just spaces in the document. If you choose select all instances and scan through the document, you may see that no words are impacted. If you see this, it is safe just to use the delete option. Let's quickly summarize the process to clean up a document's styles. First, we tell the styles pane to show all formatting in use. You look through each occurrence and decide if the text can be styled with an existing style, if the new style needs to be created from the direct formatting, or if we can delete the direct formatting. Now that we've seen how to use, modify, and create styles, we can look at how we can save an enormous amount of time generating a table of contents and keeping it up to date. If your document requires a table of contents, then you need to make sure that you are using the heading styles. As we discussed, there are 9 different heading styles that come pre-built with Word, where heading 1 takes the highest place in the hierarchy and heading 9 takes the lowest. We can tell Word to generate a table of contents based on the headings in the document. It will automatically generate this table based on text in the headings and also the page numbers of the headings. As we make document changes, the page numbers and heading text may change. Word provides another easy one-click command to keep a table of contents up to date. If you're manually updating a table of contents and you are working way too hard, there's an easier way. Let's take a look. Let's look at our script document again. If we go to the beginning of the document where we want our table of contents to show up, we will put our cursor there. Now, if we go to the ribbon and click on the References tab, we will see that there is a Table of Contents section to the left. If you click on the Table of Contents button, you will get a drop-down that looks like this. There will be a couple of automatic tables that you can just click on to generate a table of contents based on a delivered style. Oftentimes, one of these is enough. Let's click on the first one to insert a table of contents. It will insert a new table of contents that includes heading 1 through 3. This may be enough depending on your needs. Let's quickly look at the table of contents. You will see that it includes some page numbers and the headings match the text that is styled with the heading styles in the document. Let's go into the document and force some sections to change page numbers by putting in some white space in the document, which will move things around. Also, let's update a few of our headings so that we can see how to update the table of contents with one click. If you click anywhere in the table of contents, you will notice that it looks kind of funny. It can have a gray looking color, and clicking in one place seems to select a bunch of text. This is an indication to you that it is automatically generated text and Word has control over it. You can modify the text if you need to, but generally you want the table of contents to match your document headings. If we keep our cursor inside the table of contents and go back up to the table of content ribbon setting, you will see an Update Table button. When you click it, you'll get a few options: Update Page Numbers Only and Update Entire Table. I generally always choose the Update Entire Table option. This will actually completely regenerate the table of contents. So if you have updated your heading text and maybe removed or added some sections, they will be picked up in the table of contents. If you just choose Update Page Numbers Only, it will not touch the headings that you may have changed in the table of contents directly. This is really dependent on your needs. As I said, I always choose to update the entire table, but you may need something different. As I said, the default table of contents only goes 3 heading levels deep. You can modify this by choosing the Insert Table of Contents command from the ribbon. This will bring up a dialog box that looks like this. The dialog will give you more fine-grained control over the look of the table of contents and what options show up. I encourage you to look at this offline and play around with it. I often find that the templates work for me. So as you can see, automatically generating and keeping a table of contents up to date is a huge efficiency gain that comes with styles. In their same References tab, there are other options that we will not cover in any detail. However, I want to highlight them as the concepts are exactly the same as the table of contents. They will allow you to quickly generate and keep updated different types of tables. You can insert and manage footnotes. You can insert and manage citations for academic papers and inserting bibliographies, which is huge for academics. You can insert a table of figures and insert captions based on images in your document. You can mark text that shows up in an index and automatically insert an index with page numbers. You can mark citations and insert a table of authorities of those citations. I actually do not generally use these options, but I want to highlight them as they could be a huge time savers for academic and legal documents. If you write those types of documents, I encourage you to explore those menu options and look at the help sections. These options can be a huge time saver, just like the table of contents auto-generation functionality. I know when I was in college and wrote research papers, maintaining a bibliography was always a nightmare, and it was always seemed to have some issues. Now let's move on to a new topic. We are going to briefly talk about how to style tables so that the formatting works nicely with themes. Office 2007 and 2010 provide some really nice table formatting options that play nice with themes that I don't see a lot of people using, so I want to touch on them. First, let's insert a new table. From the Insert Ribbon tab, we will create a 3x4 table. Now, if we place our cursor inside the table, some new options will show up in the ribbon. This is a contextual menu as you are in the context of a table, so Word only shows these options when they are appropriate. If we click on the Design tab, we see a bunch of table style options. Starting at the left, we will see some checkboxes that will tell Word how to style our table that we have selected. We can tell Word if there is a header row, a total row, and to do banded rows, which will alternate colors on every other row. We also have some options to tell Word that the first and last columns of labels are similar to a header, and if you want the columns to be banded in color. These options are really dependent on the data in your tables. Let's type in some fictitious data in our table. Then we'll go back in the Design tab and look at the variations of table formatting styles. The colors will match the current theme colors, so what you may see on your own desktop is probably slightly different. We will click the down arrow to show all the styles to get an overview of variations. I have always been able to use one of these delivered styles, and they look great. You will see when you hover over each option, it will give you a live preview of your formatting in your document. It will not be applied until you click one of the options. If you decide later you want a different look, just go back in and select a different option and the table will be updated with one click. It is very similar to using paragraph and character styles. If you choose one of these predefined table styles and then later change the theme or color scheme of your document, your tables will be reflected with a new look. These table styles will not show up in the Styles pane. They will just be in the Design view. I really encourage you to play around with these options if you have some tables in your document. Okay, we've covered a lot. We learned about themes and styles. We then went deeper into styles and talked about the different types of styles. We also talked about how to use styles in your documents. We worked a lot with the styles pane, showing you the different options and hopefully convinced you that you should always have the styles pane visible. We introduced the importance of using heading styles to create a document structure. We learned how to modify styles. We learned how to create new styles. We learned how to clean up documents with direct formatting using the styles pane. I want to stress that there is a lot more functionality of styles and themes that I intentionally did not cover. I only wanted to cover the basic concepts, then cover what I find I use about 95% of the time. I think once you start to implement styles in your documents, you will see how useful they can be with managing all aspects of formatting. If you find yourself starting to reach for the direct formatting option, you should hear a little voice in your head and stop using styles. These same concepts can be applied to Microsoft, Excel, and PowerPoint to make those documents look just as professional. I encourage you to explore around the ribbon in those programs and apply these concepts there. Hopefully you learned a lot in this presentation. If you found it useful and educational, please tell your friends about it. Have a great day and happy writing.